Today we're taking a look at Metallurg. They play in the Eastern Conference. They're in there with the defending Gagarin Cup champions Avangard. They're also in there with teams like Tractor as well, and Akbar is a very competitive division. This is Gillian Kemmerer, our KHL insider. My name is Ben Holden, and today we take a look at Metallurg. When you think Metallurg, what are the couple things that are important for our audience and North American fans and other fans around the world new to the KHL that they should know about this outfit?
So they are one of the powerhouses of modern Russian hockey. They were actually founded by the iron and steel works of the city, and that's a heritage that makes a lot of sense when you look at their anniversary jerseys, for example, that debuted just about 2 seasons ago. Right behind the logo, it looked like a layer of gray steel wool. They actually used the protective fabric that protects the iron and steel workers on the jersey to reinforce the fact that they belong to the city. And it makes sense, of course, that they won the Gagarin Cup under none other than Iron Mike.
So something like a Pittsburgh of Russia, so to speak?
Absolutely.
In that sense,
Great comparison.
The way the city is, the way the team is, the way the fan base is?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
The powerhouse of the country, and then really dedicated to its people.
So their head coach is well-traveled, well-documented. He's coached over 400 games in the KHL. Ilya Vorobyev. What's the story on him? What do we need to know about him in terms of him as a coach and the way he likes to see his teams play?
So Ilya Vorobyev has spent a fair amount of time abroad. He actually spent a substantial portion of his playing career in Germany. And he's someone that's always melded together an international locker room. He's always had foreign coaching staff, whether we look at Mike Polino or Iron Mike Keenan or really great imports like we're going to talk about Philippe Maillet this season. But he's a very well-known, storied coach, coached the Russian national team, and he expects aggressive hockey from Magnitogorsk. Speaking
of Philippe Maillet, one of the things I'm learning about this league is players get opportunities, whether it's Kravtsov, whether it's Jake Virtanen with Spartak. Guys get opportunities, and Philippe Maillet has an incredible journey. He's French-Canadian. A lot of those players will go the NCAA route in the U.S. and play in college. He's been all over the map, and he is an absolute stud for their team.
He is, and he grew up idolizing the Russian players. He was actually enamored with Pavel Datsyuk, and he loved Alexei Kovalev as a guy growing up in Montreal. He had the Warrior stick, the DVDs. So Philippe Maillet is getting a very front row seat to some of the talent that he admired as a kid, but I would argue Russia's getting a front row seat to him because he had quite an entrance to the KHL.
Yeah, he started the season for months as one of the top scorers in this league. Another player that we want to talk about is a young star, an NHL prospect, Danila Yurov. What have you seen out of him, and what can you tell our fans and our audience about him and how special he really is?
This 17-year-old really made his mark and an impression on me at preseason. I was sitting in the stands in Kazan watching him play, and you can see that his head is always up, reading the game maybe 1 to 2 plays ahead, making brilliant passes. When I talked with Vorobyev about him, he said, this kid reads the game at an adult level, despite the fact that, you know, by their standards, he's still a boy. So it's quite hard to find the right mix of when to play him and when not to as he develops in his strength. But in terms of his game IQ, it's right there with the best of them.
That's great to hear. We love to see the young players their futures are so bright. They're fun to watch. They bring us out of our seat. That's great. That's our KHL insider, Gillian Kemmerer. My name is Ben Holden, and that concludes our look today at Metallurg.